بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن والاه. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to Clear Arabic, mashallah, the new camera edition. Alhamdulillah, I think this camera looks a little better than the old camera. Alhamdulillah. I hope you're enjoying this course that we're taking together. You know, this is the kind of course that only a few people will take. They say that only a few people can dive deep to get the pearl. You know what I'm saying? So, alhamdulillah, engage with me, ask questions in the comments. Inshallah, I hope to finish the entire book. And then we can move on to الواضح, which is kind of like the second book written in the series that deals with like rhetoric and how we understand rhetoric. And what's important in this text is, if you've already studied grammar, that's great, is the approach. The two writers of this text are immense giants in the field, rahimahumullah. And then secondly is the acquisition of vocabulary and terms. Imam Ibn Athir, the great scholar of history and language and hadith, said even to the Arabs that the way to master Arabic is to practice. So inshallah, I hope that this is an opportunity for vocabulary acquisition. And then in the future, I plan to actually add texts that we'll be reading together here on YouTube and walking you through a critical reading of the text and how to think in Arabic and make sure that your comprehension is where it needs to be, inshallah, as well as my own. So let's get started. So, mashallah, up until this point, there's been quite a bit of information covered, and now he's going to start to kind of organize this into a two lanes, if you will. And one of those lanes is going to be a verb sentence, what's called al-jumlatu al-fi'liya, which we see in front of us here. And a verb sentence is made up of two things we've already studied. Al-fi'l wal-fa'il, right, is the verb, and then the subject of the verb, and then sometimes the maf'ul, the object, if the verb is what's called muta'addi. Muta'addi means it's a transitive verb, or it's lazim, it just needs the verb and the subject. Second thing that he introduced was mubtada and khabar. And mubtada and khabar are the two key components, the noun subject and the noun predicate, to the second type of sentence, which is coming soon, inshallah, which is called al-jumlatul ismiyya. So let's take a step back. Fi'l, fa'il, maf'ul, the three components of a verb sentence. Mubtada and khabar are going to be the two components of what? A noun sentence. So now let's jump in to unpacking those two type of sentences, inshallah. So they say, rahimahumullah, al-jumlatul fi'liyya. Al-jumlatul fi'liyya means a verb sentence. Al-amthila, let's look at the examples. Lama'a, lama'a means to shine. There's a great book by Imam As-Suyuti, Kawakib, well, actually it's called Kawakib As-Saltat, but there's also a book called Al-Lum'a fil i'tiqad by one of the great scholars of the Hanbali school. Al-Lum'a means, to be illuminated. Something is shining. So lama'a al-barq. Lama'a al-barq means that the lightning like shine, like, shot out of nowhere. Awa al-dhi'bu. Awa al-dhi'bu. Awa is an interesting word. It means to howl. You can also say it for a dog. Awa al-kalbu. Awa. So like when the wolf goes, ooh, with this awa. And something that will help you is if you see these kind of words and you recognize the animal, but you don't recognize the word with it, search it on YouTube. So like awa dhi'bu. Initially, I was like, I forgot. What is awa? So I searched it on YouTube, and there was a bunch of wolves howling. And I was like, oh, yeah, awa dhi'bu. Yasqutu al-thalju. Yasqutu al-thalju. The ice fell. The ice fell. Yashtaddu al-bardu. Yashtaddu al-bardu. The cold became intense. Al-qitfu al-warda. Aqtif, excuse me. Aqtif al-warda. Aqtifi al-warda. This is an order, which means aqtif, but because there is a sukoon here, and there's a sukoon here, we have what's called iltiqa as-sakinain, two sukoons. So you put kasra here. Aqtifil wardata. Pick or cut the rose. Khudil kitaba. It's khud, but because two sukoons, it takes kasra. Khudil kitaba. It's in the Quran. Khudil kitaba biquwwa. Right? Take the book, hold the book intensely. If you look at these sentences, right, you notice lama'a is a verb, awa is a verb, yasqutu is a present future verb. These are past tense. يشتد is a present future verb. And then these are orders, what's called fi'l amr, right? So here's ماضي, ماضي, fi'l مضارع, fi'l مضارع, and here is fi'l amr. So what they're showing you, may Allah bless them both. And I can't say enough about the writers of this book. They are both gems and lovers of the Arabic language who really worked to keep the Arabic language amongst the masses. What they're trying to show you here is that verb sentences can start with a past tense verb, present future verb, or an order. Okay? Al-Bahthu, let's do some research. He says, نعرف, we know, مما تقدم. It's a great, great expression. عرفت أو أعرف مما تقدم. I knew based on what happened previously. It's like a really, really nice expression. نعرف مما تقدم أن كل مثال من الأمثلة السابقة يسمى جملة مفيدة. What a sentence, man. That نعرف, we know, مما من الذي, يعني from what came, تقدم previously, أن that indeed كل, every مثال, every example, من الأمثلة. مثال is the singular, أمثلة is the plural. Look what he's teaching you here. Look what they're teaching you here. مثال من الأمثلة السابقة يسمى جملة مفيدة, is called or known or recognized as a complete sentence. لأنه تركيب يفيد السامع فائدة تامة, because it is a construction which benefits the listener. Here, يفيد السامع, always the object has fatha. So who is the one who is the recipient of the faida? Is the sami'ah. فائدة تامة, and this is to clarify and to emphasize that this was like a complete benefit, without a doubt. وإذا, and if or when, تأملنا, تأمل is the past tense, right? Right? وإذا تأملنا, and if we ponder or reflect upon هذه الجملة, upon these sentences, again the object, فتحة, 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 فتحة. وجدناه كل فتحة, we would find everyone. What did we find? كل, so it's an object, مفعول به. كل واحدة, every one of them, منها, from it, مركبة, would be constructed من فعل وفاعل. As I said earlier, look at it, فعل فاعل فعل فاعل فعل فاعل فعل فاعل فعل فاعل فعل فعل فاعل. Right here, the fa'il and these two is not mentioned, but أقتف أنت خذي أنت الكتاب. Right, because the subject of the order usually is not mentioned. Like if you say sit, sit, you mean sit you. So Ibn Malik said كلامنا لفظ مفيد كاستقم, يعني كاستقم مثل فعل أمر يعني. We'd find that each and every one of them is made up of فعل وفاعل, لأن كل جملة من هذه الجمل مبدوءة بفعل, because every single one of these sentences starts with or commences with a verb. تسمى جملة فعلية, thus each one of these sentences is called a verb sentence. القاعدة, the rule, كل جملة تتركب من فعل وفاعل تسمى جملة فعلية, that every sentence which is made up of or constructed of a verb and its subject is called a verb sentence. We're going to stop here, inshallah. Next time we'll take the drills that come along with this section. Barakallahu feekum wa jazakum Allahu khairan wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.